What's going on, everybody? John here with MachMotorsport, and right now we are sitting in my new to me 2018 Honda Civic TypeR in championship white. Is there really any other color? Anyway, we're sitting here now, just picked it up from the dealer. I meant to record a little bit more when we were in there, but unfortunately it was just real busy with everything else and the paperwork and all that other stuff. So I figured, why not just do an impression video? So we'll go from there. So I've just dialed in all my settings, just made sure that I'm comfortable in the car, my mirrors and all that other good stuff. You know, I've got like a terrible OCD thing. So, you know, they've just got to be ever like so right and on the money. And if they're not, then I'm all out of sorts. So anyway, first things first, I just want to talk about like, so this is a 2018. It has really low kilometers. So for the Canadians out there, it's got 6,100 kilometers on it. For you Americans, I think that works out to about 4,000 miles. I'm not really sure, but I apologize. Anyway, so if you're familiar with the car, there's enough reviews out there. You know, I'm sure you can look it up and go from there, but we'll discuss kind of what my thoughts are and my impression on the car, coming from my daily driver, my 2015 Subaru WRX, which was a terrific car in its own, but now we're moving into something that's obviously a little bit different. So right out of the gate, I want to just say that I actually had to test drive this car twice, and the reason for that is, I'm not gonna lie, when I test drove it the first time around, nothing about this car appealed to me. I was like, wow, it's a $40,000 Honda Civic. Awesome. So I want to just throw a little caveat in there and just say that if you don't push this car the way that it is meant to be driven, you are wasting your money. You may as well just buy a Civic. And if you want something, a sporty Civic, buy a Civic Si. You're not going to really feel that much of a difference driving this thing at, you know, 5 or 6 tenths. In order to really appreciate this car, you have to drive it at 10 tenths. And the reason I say that is because that's where this car really comes alive, and that's where you see all the added benefits: the suspension, the aero, the brakes, the performance. Driving this thing, you know, like a commuter, you're not going to feel anything. You're honestly not going to get to appreciate everything that this car has to offer, and it's going to be a bit of a letdown, and that's why I had to come back. I drove it initially as just a regular, I'm just going to drive this thing as I normally would, and then I came back and then drove it more aggressively with the salesman's permission, and I'm glad that I did, because had I not, I don't know what I'd be missing out on. I would have just thought it was just hyped up and there's nothing really to it. So right out of the gate, you know, there's so many things that I absolutely love about the vehicle. You know, if you're familiar with the Civic, you're gonna, you know, appreciate not only the reliability and the cost of ownership that comes with owning a Civic, but, you know, having this car and the added performance is like the extra little bonus. You know, right out of the gate, this thing having, you know, 4 doors and a hatchback, it's super practical. This is going to be my daily. It's a Honda, so it's going to be reliable. And of course, cost of ownership, I don't imagine is going to cost me a lot of money. And I can't expect this thing is going to, you know, beat me dry in terms of, you know, maintenance. So that's kind of, you know, what I was looking for, and it checked every box. And right away, just getting acquainted with the car and putting all of my stuff in here, you know, there's cubbies and pockets for everything. I love to drink a lot of water, so these 1.5 liter waters are, you know, great in the center console. I mean, it's got, as I said, a cubby and a pocket for everything. It's super convenient, which is something that I really appreciate, because I do spend so much time in my car that stuff like that is important. So I'm really glad that, you know, there's something for, you know, for a pocket for everything. You know, and just driving it. So right now I'm in sport mode, and just driving this, it is so simple and so easy to drive. And I think what I love about it the most is that being a car that's set a Nürburgring lap time record, this thing is an absolute pleasure to drive. It feels just like a Civic. Like it drives and handles and feels like a Civic. It's not jarring. You know, I had test driven a number of vehicles. I had test driven some BMW products. I test drove the Ford Focus RS, and this thing in sport mode, it's comfortable to drive. I'm not breaking my back here. You know, the undulations in the road, the little cracks, the divots, the potholes. I mean, I still have the factory 20s on here, and it's all soaking it up really nice, and it's not beating me up, which was really important. So, you know, that's kind of where I was going for. I wanted something that not only was capable of being a fun car and a capable car on the track, but I really wanted something that wasn't going to beat me up day to day, and I wasn't going to feel like this is better suited as a weekend car than an everyday car. And I have to admit, it's doing a wonderful job showing me that it is capable of that. And then of course when you get on it, it fucking goes. Now, coming from all-wheel drive cars with a lot of power, you know, it's nice having the WRX, you know, having had some rear-wheel drive cars with some power. The front-wheel drive, you know, I've driven performance front-wheel drive cars, I've driven modified front-wheel drive cars, and that wheel hop is annoying, and I will say that this will do it, but how it transfers that power down is amazing. Does it transfer it down like an all-wheel drive car? No. Does it do a really good job at doing it, even though it's a front-wheel drive car? Absolutely. So, you know, I'm excited to drive this thing on a regular basis. I'm excited to daily this thing and to really get to appreciate, you know, what the engineers at Honda have done and how they've been able to make the Jekyll and Hyde here. You know, have your performance car, have your weekend track warrior / your everyday daily car. Now, as a realtor, the looks, I mean, I'm probably gonna get some different you know, looks from my clients when I show up in this, but hey, whatever. I mean, it's 2019, we're going on 2020. If people can't accept the fact that I drive a bit of an over-the-top car, well then, what are you gonna do? So, I mean, right out of the gate, I'm super pleased, super stoked about this, and yeah, it's so far everything is going good, and I really look forward to doing a better or more full review when I can, and just go over all the little, you know, features that make this thing so amazing. And thanks for watching, and thanks for following along, and you bet there's going to be some upcoming videos with some more content on this car. And of course, as I get acquainted to it and as I get to enjoy this thing on a regular basis, I will ensure you guys follow along. And for my Canadian friends being here in Southern Ontario, I plan on driving this thing in the winter. Whether that happens or not, I don't know. Initially, I was like, oh, I'm going to drive it in the winter, but it's pretty nice, and I almost don't want to put it through the winter now, so I don't know. We'll see. I might. We'll see what happens. Anyways, thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate the continued support, and I apologize for my hiatus on YouTube, but I'm glad you tuned in, and look forward to more videos. Talk to you soon.